Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, I have a very special guest with us today. She is the founder of Erica's ATA. Please welcome Erica. Hello, Erica, and welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. You're most welcome. I want to go ahead and really get started by asking where you're originally from and talk to us about your upbringing.
Absolutely. So I am from Ohio, Buckeye State, OH, and all those Ohio people would say IO. I'm born and raised. I had an awesome upbringing. Definitely, failure was celebrated in our house. So I think that's really gave my sister and I, who helps me run the business, gave us grit to really overcome hard things. So I'm really grateful for the Midwest lifestyle. But now we're living here in Tennessee, and there's a part of me that just loves the South.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I want to go ahead and talk about your school experience. So, what has been like your school experience, like, grade school, college, beauty school, and things of that nature?
You bet. So I did the college thing. I thought I wanted to do like the corporate America thing, had my dream on doing some humanitarian work. And turns out that after I went through grad school, got my MBA, got my undergrad in Bible and religion, that I found my true love. And that brought me back to trying to figure out, is this the guy? And then on top of that, so I went back home and worked for my family's business. And then I went to nail school. So I actually went to nail school for the sole purpose to see what it was all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get into as far as like Bible religion. What made you get into that?
Oh my gosh, like we could have a whole podcast on that. Like I absolutely just love studying religion for what people what they'll do, like the acts of all sorts of stuff what people will proclaim in religion. And I think it's fascinating, like whether you're a universe, whether you're all the things, as long as you're doing good, I'm cool with that. Like I have my faith, but I'm not one to push that. I'm one to just be like, I need it to get through life, and I love learning about it. Thanks for asking. Those are usually those topics that people don't want to hit on, but I like that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I want to get into as far as what hobbies. So prior to getting into the nail industry, were there any hobbies that you had of interest before getting into the nail industry?
Yeah, so I would say before the industry was so much college and grad school that there wasn't a whole lot of hobbies. But one of the things that I enjoy doing now with my family is we love to go like four-wheeling, or also called machining, and like camping. Just anything outside where we're getting dirty and muddy is definitely my jam.
Yeah, it's so interesting because when I was younger, like I would ride like my ATV and my go-kart and stuff. Like that was the
Yes.
coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah. Oh, my 9-year-old like knows how to use heavy equipment, and like he's a better driver than me, and he's like, he's not even 9 yet, and he like knows how to back up, and he puts his hand back. I'm like, I don't think I could back up my car if I didn't have a camera. They like tells it beep beep, like stop, and I'm like, what a life skill. This is great.
Yeah. And that was the thing, like when I was like little, like especially in my neighborhood, like riding ATVs and go-karts, there were some people riding dirt bikes around the neighborhood and things like that,
That's
brings
cool.
you back memories.
You can come with us anytime. Anytime.
Yeah, that's absolutely really, really cool. So I want to get into as far as nail salon and studio ownership. So have you ever in your nail career owned a nail salon and nail studio? And if so, what has been your experience?
So the thing is, I have not, and I know this is usually where people are like, hey, you talk to millions of people all the time, you know so much. And then I know some people are like, oh, but you don't know. So guess what? I'm actually like in the process of, I don't know if I've told anybody this yet, but like I'm actually in the process of like starting a state-of-the-art nail school and mentor studio. So the answer to the past is no, but to the future is a big yes.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Congratulations.
I'm not there yet. I'm sure it'll come with a lot of tears, but I guess, Asia, I've seen it done so poorly, and like I'm tired of being frustrated about it. Like I have made my influence in the industry, which I'm so thankful to all of you for tuning in and caring, but like I don't need to be frustrated anymore. I'm just going to show up and do it the way just me. I'm not pushing this on other people, but there's a lot of things that I'm truly passionate about, and I want to get that into school, like our diabetics and wellness care and homeless care, like all these different avenues of people to serve, because it's not just the beauty part. There's also the functional wellness side of things that we need to tackle more than ever for our obese and autoimmune, like all those things. So those are the things I'm going to tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that's a really, really good point, because that's something that a lot of people, don't think about. It's about the wellness, those aspects of taking care of someone, like taking care of a client. And I remember my time during high school, like, me and my cosmetology class, I did cosmetology courses in my high school. They offer a cosmetology program in my high school, and we would go to the nursing home like, once a week or twice a week and take care of, the elderly, do their nails, do their hair and things like that. So yeah, I like how you brought that up because it is about the wellness and the care and consideration for other people.
Yes. And just like the humanitarian touch, like, right, like caring for people and showing people like it doesn't just have to be nail art and luxury services. Like nails can be, and feet, like there's so much more. There's a service, there's a beauty element, but it's also just care and
Yeah.
wanting to serve people with whatever, whether they're children, adults, the like anything. And I think that's just what's cool, that we kind of think like, oh, I have to like go to nail school only if I'm good at art. And it's like, no, that's not true. Like if you want to, babe, you could get there. But like if
Yeah.
there's other avenues, like there's such a need just for quality people who are passionate about what they do. There's very few people that want to work on toes, let alone crazy looking toes.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
We need
And
you.
yeah, right. And the thing is, with nail school and beauty school,
Mm-hmm.
of course they'll teach you about sanitation and teach you about, just like the basics, but they don't go too much in depth about like, what you need to do to prepare for the industry, and that's what's
Yeah.
so cool about nail education now, as far as the nail industry, is that there's a plethora of classes you could take, whether it's nail
Yeah.
prep, sanitation, there's people that's, holding like medical nail tech courses,
Yeah.
different nail art design course and things of that nature. So I'm glad that the nail industry, the nail education has broadened, than it was
Yes.
5 or 10 years ago.
Oh, huge. Yes, I love that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get into as far as your business, Erica's ATA.
Yes.
So it is a family-ran business that sells a wide range of nail tools, ranging from drill bits to cuticle nippers and pushers. So for those who are not familiar with the story of how Erica's ATA came about, can you tell us about that story?
Oh my goodness, it's kind of a long one, so I'll make it short. But long story short, our business was birthed from my dad, and it really was out of the early 80s when the beauty industry was coming out of the dental. So my dad signed it on compete. He actually was one of the first people to patent man-made diamond, which is really interesting because we use all natural diamonds, but he was part of that patent process.
Right.
And then we were really young, and they used to have these things called they were like warehouses where people would go like and sell their stuff, but it was like
Right.
indoors. Like we don't see that more because we have like Facebook Marketplace, but like, dude, what were they called? I forget. I'm going blank. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like where they would like flea markets, like a flea market that was
Yeah, flea market.
indoors. Yeah. So it was the early 80s, and my dad saw some woman doing nails in there, like using like a Dremel tool. And he was like, if I make something out of diamond, will you try it? So he was bored, early retired, made her something with diamond, and she loved it. My dad took a $10,000 loan from my grandma. They started a laboratory in what was our basement years ago before me. And then my mom started doing like sales before the internet in Florida, just walking into salons, and we're like, hey, will you try our bits? So that's the history of how Erica's ATA is here.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I also like how, your dad named it after you. You know what I mean? So for those who
I
don't
was the
know
favorite. or the oldest. Okay, I guess in all fairness, the oldest too, but like, yeah, I'm gonna say favorite until the day I die, of course.
now, for those who don't know what ATA stands for, what does ATA stand for?
So it stands for Advanced Technical Abrasives. Advanced Technical Abrasives was the name of the company, and then
Okay.
Erica's was the product line. But then when I purchased it 9 years ago, I was like, nobody in the nail industry is calling us Advanced Technical Abrasives. They're calling us Erica's. So I rolled with that. But like to stay to my homie dad, love you dad, is that I wanted to keep that ATA because that was like our birth spot. You know what I mean? Just like keep that legacy. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to push forward and talk about nail classes. So, your brand offers nail classes. So talk to us about some of the nail classes you offer and what do the students learn?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, I think the biggest thing that I'm really learning, because I have literally taught thousands of students, is like self-worth, and not like charge what your worth is, because to be completely honest, is I don't think anybody is worth a dollar value. Like, I think quality is worth something. So I just want to make that clear. But I think the biggest thing that people really get out of my classes these days is empowerment. of really coming together with like-minded people to really want to elevate the industry. I focus
Right.
on dry manicuring. We've been doing dry manicuring for over 30 years. I know now it's like the cool thing that people call it like the Russian manicure and stuff and all these different buzzwords. But at the end of the day, that's really where we specialize, because we know that prep is key. It doesn't matter how awesome your artwork is. It doesn't matter what the color is. If those nails don't stay on, like, ain't nobody coming back. And yeah, we also do a lot with feet. We're really excited to open a state-of-the-art school to really set new standards for dry manicuring and dry pedicuring, because in my opinion, just my opinion, that really is the future of doing nails is dry. So just continuing to bring that awareness, what that looks like. And a lot of my classes like teach about how to talk about it, right? Because change is hard. Like people like improvement, but change, there's resistance. You walk in to a nail salon and you're used to like sitting in a throne and getting a massage and putting your feet in water. So if all of a sudden somebody walks in and that's not the setting, like we are creating, you know, anxiety, like what, this isn't what I signed up for. So really teaching people that change is hard, but if we know that already, how do we start talking about it so we build that confidence? So yeah,
absolutely. And to add on to that, you know, I was taught, like when I was taking cosmetology courses, to do like a wet, like, you know, prep, like, you know, to soak the nails and push back the cuticles and things like that. So, you know, it's definitely some unlearning as far as how you were taught, like for state board. You know what I mean? And definitely, you know, prepping the nails dry is better because it helps the nails last a lot longer than it is with like lasting for a few days or so.
Dude, that's like what I say. Like first we gotta talk about benefits if there's change. That's the very first thing that I say is name one product on the market that says moisturize nails well before product application. And it's like you can hear a mouse fart. Because there's none. But that's the first thing traditionally we are doing. And like we've been doing that since Cleopatra. Like it's time for the nail game in school to change. Like there's just so many more products and techniques that we have that we should really be more innovative.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion. You know, like I keep saying that because I'm like, this is your interview. So I'm like, I don't want anyone to get mad at you. I'm like, me. It's like the trolls come for me, not Asia. I mean, no trolls here. No trolls here. We don't do that. All are welcome.
So as far as e-filing, what would you say are the most common mistakes as far as e-filing?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing is cheap tools, because, and I'm not even doing a plug for myself, is using cheap tools. What happens there is people do not build confidence with their e-file because they're not able to get the product off or see the looking for. So then they apply a lot more pressure. So I would say quality tools, because we need to get the product off quickly. 10 minutes or less is the goal. And on top of that is RPMs are your friend. So running your e-file really low and putting that manual pressure, because a lot of times people are scared. Well, if you're scared, okay, I get that. It's something new, but like, don't stay there, like practice. And one of the best ways you can practice is like doing it. I recommend a really, really ripe tomato. Like, you know, when they get so soft that like if you just barely touch it, it's going to pop, is like put product on that and then just practice taking it off. And when you bust through the tomato, you've gone too far. But just doing that for thousands of hours. There's no Insta awesome e-filing. It's just old school practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I definitely want to get into as far as like with e-files. Like, what's like some of the best e-files you would recommend for up and coming nail artists and nail techs?
Yes, I think like that's one of the things it's an investment. It's easy to go the Amazon route where there's one for $80, but you really want to think about like your vibration in your hand and where you're working, especially cuticle work. So we don't carry an e-file anymore. If COVID taught me anything, it is to align with what you're passionate about and just ride that wave. So we work with Medicool and we literally just buy their machine. They have a great service turnaround. It's been a great experience. They've been in the industry for a long time. They're just someone I really respect. And I mean, like they're my competition in some regards, but like Steve, like the CEO, he's like one of my dear friends that I'm like, it doesn't always have to be this, like, I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to do this. You do it well. Let's work together. And it's been really great. So invest in tools. There's other places, in my opinion, to skip out on. Like, I mean, there's a million different ways, but when it comes to what am I putting in my hands all day, like nail artists will have a million colors on their wall and glitter, but then they want to use just 2 bits to do everything. And I'm like, you're giving all that selection to your clients and you're trying to make 2 things work versus having multiple tools and then making the work easier for you.
Right.
I mean, if you know, you know.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I want to also get into as far as clientele. So in a
Yes.
video on Instagram, you talked about firing clients. So what does it mean in terms of firing a client, and how does one establish boundaries as far as with working with clients?
Ooh, I love that word, boundaries. Okay, so first of all, like the whole firing clients, like that's kind of like clickbait. When it comes down to like when I'm doing coaching and consulting, like I would never just flat out say like fire your client. Like, yeah,
Right.
that's just like to empower you. But like really what I look at it is like you are not for everyone and that's okay. So like for me, it's just
Mhm.
a new introduction. Like we don't have to make it this scary bad thing. Like we can make it as simple as like, hey Asia, I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to continue to do your service, but hey, I know that you're going to gel well with so and so and so and so. Here's their contact. We don't
Mhm.
need to explain it. I don't need to give all this information about it. So I think the big thing is if you keep having conversations that you don't want to have, first of all, nobody likes things coming out of left field. Is like just have a conversation and say, dude, I love you, but I cannot have these conspiracy theory conversations anymore. Like they're just killing me,
Right.
babe. And
Mhm.
if they keep doing it, then it's like, okay, you've let them know that there's something and just politely pass them on. Like, why do we got to make it weird? It's not weird. You're not for everyone. You're growing and going. It's just like the same thing with pricing. It's like, I don't want to be where I'm at today. Like, I want to be 10 years from now somewhere else. I hope my classes are more expensive. I hope I've learned more. I hope I touch more people, right? Like,
Right.
we want to be growth focused. So, why would somebody, one of our clients, expect us to continue to do the same service for them at the same price and never evolve? Like,
Mhm.
to me, that boundary is that we've made our clients friends and family, even though we are offering a service. You know, there's an exchanging
Mhm.
of a service for a dollar value. If you're friends, then go out and get coffee where you're both paying for your own coffee. And I think until those lines are better, I don't know, what's the word? Help me. You're the word chick.
Mhm.
Is um
Lines
I don't
across.
Yeah, I mean, we laugh about it, like, oh, you know, our clients are like our friends and our family. And I'm like, no, that's the problem why you're stuck with the same clients is because you're not able to grow because you feel like you're outgrowing people you have relationships with. But hey, this is your business. Like you should be continuing to grow. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Mm. I want to get into as far as LED nail lamps. So, in regards to, a few months ago, there were conversations surrounding LED, nail lamps and how LED nail lamps can give you cancer. So, what is your perspective in regards to that conversation that happened a few months back?
I mean, I feel like our microwaves and our cell phones that are charging right next to our head and fast food, like nail lamps, just put it on the list. I like have no feelings about it like whatsoever. I feel like people are putting like toxins into their forehead. Like you do you, boo. If you think it's weird and you shouldn't do it, then don't do it.
Mhm.
It's like we gotta hyper focus on some things. And I'm just like, you know what, I don't put sunscreen on my hands every time I get in the car. But
Mhm.
for those that it's a big deal, like, okay, then don't do it. For others, like I'm like trying to be like, like biting my tongue to be respectful, but I'm just like, there's so many bigger things in the industry.
I want to get into and push forward as far as nail products. So, what has been like some
Yeah.
of your favorite nail products?
I really like working with accents and light elegance. A lot of that is because they're great products, but also because they're made here in North America. Accents is Canada, and then you have Jim out in Oregon, and it's just nice to know that there's fair wages behind something. That's really important to Erica's, as well as just manufacturing in North America in general. So I try to use products that have um,
Mhm.
a similar culture like we do here at Erica's and just principles. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are some things you like about the nail industry, and what are some things you think the nail industry could be improved on?
Ooh, oh my gosh, I love the fact that like, okay, let me retract that. Let me start over. What I don't like about the nail industry, I want to start there, is that when somebody says they're a nail tech, so many times there's not pride behind it. Or there's people who combat that with, like, when are you going to get a real job? And it's like, this is my real job. And I make people feel beautiful and I make people feel seen. And I get more information from strangers than people do who are sleeping right next to them every night. We're with people when they're mourning, we're with people when they're coming out of the closet. We do hands on homeless and feet care. We are at people with their highest highs and their lowest lows. There's people who do nails in funeral homes. I got truth bumps. Like, you're not just a nail tech. Like, whatever box or culturally has put that, like, that is probably my bet, my like biggest pet peeve is like, what woman gets engaged and does not want to have her nails done? What
Mhm.
woman hasn't gone on vacation for 3 years that doesn't want a pedicure and has beautiful feet?
Right.
Like, that
Right.
means the world to that client, and yet we're just nail techs. And I hate that that's that feeling, because it should be like a badge to say, like, I am with people at some of their highest highs and their lowest lows, and yeah, make them feel good about themselves. I'm like, hell yeah,
Right.
you do. Like, that's the kind of stuff you get in my class. I'm like, let's celebrate the people you literally
Right.
touch. Like, you are
Yeah.
touching a stranger. Our society
Mhm.
is all about like, stay in your space. And here we're like, give me your hand, give me your foot, just put it right up here on my lap. Let's
Right.
go. I'm like, it is so
Mhm.
intimate that it's a beautiful thing. But what I also don't like is that like the culture is not always beautiful. Like the cattiness in salons, the cattiness with clients. It's like we're representing beauty, but yet it
Right.
can look really raw and dramatic and cutthroat. And I just wish that we could clean that up a little bit and like really across the board and make the beauty industry not just about external beauty, but also like internal beauty.
Now, what are some things you like about the nail industry?
That we touch so many people, that we're
Mhm.
with people with those highs and with those lows.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's like the biggest thing that I love is that I think sometimes people just need, like, clients need a space to like zone out
Right.
and to be refreshed. And I love that so many salons offer a space for them to just show up. And if they want to talk, they can talk. If they don't want to talk, they don't have to. Like, that they can just
Right.
show up and be and process something in an environment that hopefully is safe and not threatening. Um, I love that. I love that people, when they get their nails done, they want to go home and they want to show people. And, you know, if you got your nails done, you want to show it off. And it's like, that
Right.
makes like, that's a confidence thing. Like, you make people feel beautiful. Like, who gets their nails done and spends hundreds of dollars on nails to be like, oh yeah, I get my nails done because it makes me feel horrible or because it's expected? No, people get their nails done because it feels good. It's self
Right.
grooming. You look better. You look put
Absolutely.
together no matter what's going on. I'm
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, I
Yeah.
love that for the nail industry, is that we make people
Mhm.
feel freaking good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
a superpower.
Mm.
Yeah. What's
Well,
your superpower? Oh, I spend all day making people look hot and they walk out like going like this and acting different, and I can see the whole swagger change. I'm like, that's freaking amazing. What do you
mm.
do? Oh, I look at a spreadsheet all day. Like you make people feel awesome. Not downplaying any other careers. I'm just saying I love that we
Mhm.
have the ability to make people feel beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can agree with that as far as the nail industry, like, and not only that, but I'm glad that there's like a thing of like this plethora of artistry, that there's so many avenues you can do as far as with nail art and, expressing, different styles of art. That's really, really cool. I'm an artist, like wholeheartedly. I went to art school and things like that, so I love art. And I love how, people have a different way of interpreting different things,
Mhm.
different styles of nail art, and like the possibilities is just endless.
And like endless. Which is also hard with pricing, right? And why people get stuck, because it's like your interpretation is different. Like some
Right.
people can make a Picasso out of lines and dots, right? Like it's just a few different things, but it's like, okay, how many years did it take you to do lines and dots to turn them into a Picasso? Years. So do I charge by time, or like, yo, this is what it is. If you don't like it, then don't show back up. Like,
Mhm.
it's so cool because there's so many ways to express themselves, but I feel like nail techs also get really stuck to like, I don't know, am I charging too much? And then they don't charge enough and it becomes a hobby and not a career. That sucks.
Mm. And another thing I like as far as the nail community or industry is that there's more awareness as far as like the health and safety of utilizing, gel products. Like
Mhm.
people are saying like, don't use like gel polish with your hands, like, wear gloves or, just be careful of getting in contact with it when you do work with gel. So I like
Yes.
how there's more awareness as far as how to use products.
Yeah, but then it's also frustrating when people don't, and you can like see that they have an allergic reaction, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh," I'm like, "Stay in my lane," right? Like, you can bring information, you can bring somebody to water, you can give them the information, but like life choices, right? Just like that light. Do you
Right.
put your hand in? Do you not? Well, do you want gel nails or not? Okay,
Mhm.
put it in the light.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get into as far as just like hobbies, like outside of nails, like what are some things you like to do as far as hobbies?
Oh my gosh, I am like in the thick of motherhood right now. So I love coffee. Iced coffee is like my hobby and sleeping. But other than that, anytime I can be like outside, camping, hiking, those are all things that I will always make that a priority of just being in nature and being outside. I really enjoy that
Mhm.
outlet of being with my family and also getting
Mhm.
muddy.
Now, how have you been able to balance being, a businesswoman with mental health?
Oh my gosh, like not well. Like during
Mhm.
COVID, when everything was shutting down, I was pregnant. I was running a beauty business. Salons were shutting down. Like I went on a mood suppressant because I didn't know how to handle it. I was scared also carrying a child, like in what this could be.
Mhm.
It's a lot. I think we fight as women for equality in business, and like for me it's more fighting for work life balance. Like
Mhm.
motherhood is like 24/7 and doing it with half a brain sometimes because your kids were all up at different hours. Like it's freaking hard. um
Right.
on top of being everything that social media says that we need to look like and we need to be like and we need to have the matching Christmas outfits, and I need to do an Easter basket that looks like Christmas. And you know what? You know how I finally have said I'm going to deal with it?
Mm.
This is going to be brand off. Should I do this? I'm like, that's how I feel. I feel screw what everybody else is doing and do what's right for you and your family. Like,
Right.
don't compare yourself. Even your best friend, like, you have different goals, you have a different lifestyle. I recently just actually gave up my job as CEO at Erica's because I was literally moved my life, moved my business, homeschooling my 4 kids, and also trying to grow my multi-million dollar beauty industry business. And I don't say that to boast, but I'm just saying like
Right.
there was a lot on the table, and I woke up every morning feeling like I was letting everyone down. And I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want to be medicated my whole life to process this. Like, I want to enjoy my kids and I want to enjoy my business. And the best
Right.
thing for me to do is to take the things I don't like and don't do them anymore. So
Right.
now, you want to know what my title is?
What is it?
Funstigator. Like, I am only showing up if we're having fun. Like, I've worked my butt off, and now I want to enjoy my kids. And when I'm at
Mhm.
work, I want to empower people. I want to do
Right.
fun things. Like, I'm like smiling the whole time because I'm like, this is fun to talk about an industry I love.
Right.
That I'm like, yeah, it's Funstigator. Like, yeah, I still do videos. I still travel. I am still the owner and like have the last say. But like, I don't, if something's happening in the lab, I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah. So to answer your question is to really sit down with yourself and like to talk to your future self and say like, what am I going to look at and regret? So for me, the regret was going to feel like I always sucked and never like could fully be where I wanted to be.
Mhm.
Um, and I spent 2 years making those changes so I could transition myself out and
Right.
really focus. And I'm not saying I'm thriving now, but dude, if you are someone who is looking for work life balance, like get rid of expectations that other people have. Like it's your life, it's your business, it's your family, it's your goals. Whatever you believe once you're off this earth or whatever your thought process is, like, dude, I
Right.
want to go out with a bang. Like I want to be like I lived my life, and you know
Right.
what? Living my life is not 9 to 5. And I really had to make some serious changes in my life, but I was not going to fall into what culturally was expected, and it's only because that I literally hit rock bottom. Because who wants to wake up and feel like, oh, here's another day of suck? I'm gonna fail my kids. I'm
Right.
gonna fail my business. I'm grumpy. This sucks. Like, no, I'm done. Fun, it is. I will only accept fun things. If it's not fun, it doesn't belong on my radar.
Mhm. Now,
Yeah.
now I want to get into this other question. Now, where do you see Erica's ATA in the next 5 years?
I love this question because like literally like I shouldn't even be saying this, but like we sold our dream home to move to a trailer. Like I am currently sitting in a trailer right now
Mm.
on the floor with behind my shower. This is my new office space. And like a lot of people would be really embarrassed, and I'm going to embrace it because what we're doing now is freaking amazing. My husband's a builder and we are building a 28 bed retreat center. So what I want to do is I want to have more education. I'm building a school. I'm building a state. Everything is state of the art. I'm tired of okay. You know what?
Wow.
So many people say like bigger and better. You know what? I have been focused on the better for the last 15 years. And because I've been focused on better, I've gotten bigger. So
Right.
yes, like right, we make the bits, we do those things. Education, realizing people just need someone that they
Mhm.
can count on and to rally them. I've looked at
Right.
hotels. I've looked at all the spaces and I got fed up with them. I'm like, oh, this isn't like what I want. Like I want matching PJs and vulnerability and tears and like fireworks and jumping on the bed and like being that rowdy misfit, but then also like next day, like business, brand on. Like
Right.
focus, like just the
Right.
permission to like be free of whatever it is. And I was like, you know what, babe, will you build me the space? We sold our house, we moved our business, and now we live in a 750 square feet trailer while we are building this retreat center because I
Mm.
freaking am so crazy in love with the idea of creating a safe place for people to dream and to heal and to know that they're
Right.
freaking worth it. So that's
Right.
that's where Erica's is going. Um, but it's scary
Yeah.
because it's big and it's different. And I'm also okay with those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media and how can people support Erica's ATA?
Oh my gosh, is the biggest thing for me, like if you want to support me and my mental health journey, is like those Google reviews mean so much to me. Like if you think
Mhm.
my team's doing an amazing job, if you're loving our products, I read those every single day. Like they are truly my words of affirmation for the day. If you want to get involved with being part of the moving, shaking, dry manicure stuff, we have different focus groups. We would love your input. Everything that we have built better upon that has made us bigger is because we just listen. Like,
Right.
I'm humble enough to say I don't need to sit in the nail studio all day long to know your pain points. I get the opportunity to talk to people all day long and to offer
Right.
solutions. So if you want to check us out, and we are on Instagram, Erica's ATA. If you want to get more into technique and stuff and like learn about what we're doing with the homeless population or how to get connected, YouTube, Erica's ATA. I drop a new
Mhm.
video every 2 weeks. We have over 200 videos of technique.
Wow.
Yes. And we're getting excited about offering YouTube about business, growing a school, all the things that I'm going to experience with growing a school and like not just making a school, but like the best school. Like I'm going to document all of it because the hope is that
Mhm.
I can reduce somebody else's learning curve, that we can all do better and that the industry overall can just be elevated. So if you
Right.
are interested in being elevated as a nail tech or you're in the beauty industry and you just want someone to hype you up, I'm a funstigator. Check us out.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Thank you so much, Erica, for jumping onto the show. I love what you're
Yes.
doing. I really enjoyed our conversation. It was really, really cool to chat with you and get to know more of the story about behind Erica's ATA, more about you as well. So I really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. Take care. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.